Exodus, thank you for the follow. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The final episode of the Wight Whale story arc. Let's introduce. Oh, and thank you for the sub as well, Exodus. You are awesome, my friend. Thank you very much. Let's introduce our characters. Starting with myself, I am W. Adam Clark. I am the GM for this campaign, and my fun fact for the day is I'm mildly concerned that this might be my first total party kill in 18 years, but I'm pretty sure at least one player will escape. So, I mean, as long as one of them escapes, it's not a TPK.
It's not a total party kill.
Exactly. In the purple corner
is Ari Cypress Everly. I am playing Seth. I am a warlock, and I am a giant jelly. That is to say plasmoid. My fun fact for the day is that in real life, my fight or flight mechanisms tend towards the former, which is very interesting, which means every time I have, like, you know, a doctor's appointment in the morning or something like that, I'm in a really fighty mood. So it's a really good thing we have a big fight today, because I'm a little more Adaya today than I am Seth.
and in the green circle.
Hello, Knock the Silence. I'm playing Rikar. He's our resident bug. People generally call him Reggie. Yeah. Fun fact about him is prior to him not being an Athos anymore, he was primarily tasked with hunting, as well as training the younger three Kreen that were being raised in the community he was with.
In the yellow circle, we have...
Hello, I'm Sadie Golden Dragon, and I play Maeve Glitterwind. And I think we're both a bit stupidly optimistic about this fight. There's my fun fact for the day.
A minute ago, you were totally sure you were winning. What changed?
You opened your mouth.
She said, I think. So I think we're going to win. I think
it's a difficult.
And in the red circle.
Boy, I'm bacon. I eat a lot of it. I play Gordon Argent Belly the Artificer, and Gordon Argent Belly the Artificer will be played by Winston Churchill this evening, because this will be our finest hour.
Nice.
Indeed.
Very nice.
He has texted me that like 4 times
Now
in the
that I
last
actually
24
did
hours.
it, I'm going to watch that later, and I'm like, oh, what the hell were you thinking?
No, that came across well.
No, that went well.
It tracked. Okay, so who would like to catch the audience up with where we're at in the story thus far?
We have a plan.
It's a good plan.
It's a good plan.
It's a good plan.
It's a good
A
plan.
cunning plan.
We spent, I think the entire last episode was Gordon convincing the gift to let him, mess with their sacred weapon, and then me convincing everyone else to go along with the plan. I think
that was pretty much it.
Pretty much the entire episode.
So
I'm fairly certain getting the GAM to agree was much harder than me trying to convince the Admiral about the grand experiment.
You raised your charisma to like 30 points.
Yeah, right? You were
I
talking
wanted to make
about
sure.
messing with a holy artifact. All I did was convince everybody that if we followed this plan, everybody would win. And since everybody wanted to win, it was easy.
So
really underselling it if you weren't here, folks.
That's how charisma works. All you're doing is convincing people that things are already the way they want it.
Do something to steal your thunder a little bit.
Go for it.
If you haven't already done it, go find Second Class Elitist on YouTube, and you can see the back episodes of this, and you will see that Ari / Seth is really, really underselling what she did last week.
Did that already go up?
It went up
It
today,
did, in
actually.
fact, go up.
Yes,
It went up today. Yeah.
it is up. You can see it in all its
Yep.
glory.
Yep.
All right, so.
And me and all my sickness, which I'm still trying to get over.
But you're better. You're a bit better.
Drink your
So,
rum, you'll be
Better than I
fine.
was.
so the party has convinced all of the vessels that have been hunting the Wight Whale to a battle plan, which will hopefully give them a much better
Possibility of
chance.
surviving. I mean,
Question mark of survival.
Fighting
winning. Of course, winning is kind of survival at this point.
And
At this
if we look
point,
at the scene, we currently have what will be occurring, which is to say, this is the flotilla which will be maneuvering into position, following behind the Wight Whale. Now,
Whale of whiteness.
Bacon has advantage and Sadie has a +1 on her first roll. Just so you know, those are coming.
Yay!
And those are thanks to
Thank
Rose.
you, chat.
Thanks, Rose.
as
Hey,
always,
chat.
we pray. Wait, as always, we pray the God of chat.
So,
Yeah.
what's going to happen is it's going to take Gordon 2 days to wire the Gordunculus into the loading mechanism of the Grand Bombard.
Yep.
This
During-
is Gordunculus.
During
That's gonna be a thing
those
now.
during those 2 days, the rest of the flotilla, not utilizing the bombard because it's being worked on, spend time peeling away as much of the dross that surrounds the undead whale as possible. So that
Ooh.
basically, without having engaged the whale, you have managed to strip it of all of its external defensive ships. I'm not bothering to roleplay through those 2 days worth of fights. We will assume that things went mostly to plan because those are all known values and everyone knows what they're dealing with at this point.
We've literally run those fights already.
Yeah, you dealt with
Just
more
rerun them.
eels, you dealt with more deep horrors, and you dealt with more zombie scavers.
We're eating good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
So that's what's been going on with that. There is, however, a question that has been rumbling around on your ship,
Okay.
and it's now time for you to begin the battle. Well, it's now time for you to have the discussion. And that discussion is, do you all sail on the wandering glider to take the fight? Or do you possibly position yourselves where your individual skills may be more useful? And I'm going to tell you this is entirely 100% a player decision. So it's going to be entirely up to you guys. I also will remind you, slightly metagamey, but realistically, all of your characters, especially Seth, being a veteran of the Space Lanes, would know this. At any point, if this fight goes wrong, technically your ship could just Casper right out of it if you are all on the same ship. If you're on different ships and the Wandering Glider decides to Casper out of the fight, that basically controls who lives and who dies.
Yeah, but
so there is a
any other
risk-reward
captain
factor.
could do that too.
True, could. But there is a risk-reward factor here where if you split up, you may be more individually effective, but you also don't have the jettison to make sure that you all get out alive.
So I'll start. I gotta be honest. I think I did everything particularly useful to the success of this mission at the GAM. I mean, no matter how charismatic I can come across, when it comes down to an actual fight, the regular relationship between a captain and crew is going to be paramount. I don't think I'm going to be able to convince anybody to do anything other than what they would normally do in a situation once they're in the fight. It just doesn't sound realistic to me.
Okay.
I just want to stick together because I'm clingy.
Because you're clingy. I mean, if anyone has something that they think they want me to do, I'm okay with doing it, but I signed on to serve this ship.
Honestly, I made the holy water. How could they fuck it up? All they have to do is like put it in there.
So all they have to do is jump off the front of a ship into the inside of a living undead being without breaking a barrel. Place it at a spot where another ship, which will be flying around past the living undead being, which may still be moving at that point, has a chance to hit the barrel from a range of 300 yards. Yeah, there's no way that could possibly go wrong.
But
Right.
what could me being beside the barrel do?
Well, not necessarily you. It could be somebody else in charge of making sure that barrel gets to the right spot. It doesn't have to be Gordon on the bombard just because it's his weapon. It doesn't have to be you being with the barrels. It could be some other arrangement of, what do we think could go wrong with any of those operations, and which of us has the capacity to possibly fix some of it.
Also, it basically comes down to how much of this do you want to rely on NPCs and how much of this do you want to be in the hand of the players.
Right, how much do we want to, the metagamey answer is how much of this do we want to actually be in charge of doing? Versus was the plan our doing it? Was making the plan our doing it? Or are we going to hands-on it? Presumably a lot of this has been done hands-on by the party over the last 2 days.
Right.
Maeve has supervised the putting together of the holy bomb, if that's what we're going to call it. So that has happened off screen, but it has been done by the players. Gordon has supervised the making of the weapon. I have probably been with all the crews, like reviewing the plan, further assuaging concerns, and reviewing details of the plan. Most likely, I would assume. So, we already did some of that stuff in kind of an off-screen fashion, but is there anything anyone thinks they can contribute to a specific action?
Me
I
anyway.
have to be on the bombard.
Okay.
There we go. So there's thing one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have done a test firing.
No.
No?
Can't.
We haven't even done a test firing.
You did a test fire, not towards the beast, just to make sure that the system would work, but you haven't done a speed cycle. You've just done one test fire.
Yeah.
There's no way to catch this.
I have to be on the bombard then. Because I'm froggy. Gordon's, I'm going to have to be there. This is an untried arcane technology. I will have to constantly be tinkering to make sure.
And Gordon raises an interesting point. That's the more detailed part of this discussion we have to have, and he already gave one answer. What do we think is going to go wrong? Is there anything we can do about it? Gordon's answer was the technology itself can go wrong, because I literally just invented it. So I have to be there to make up for that. For the fact that it's untested.
Yeah.
Other things that could potentially go wrong. Captain Corstill could go nuts. Because she's obviously fanatical about this. What could that mean? It could mean that, for example, she doesn't wait for the plan and rushes in headstrong and does something dumb. She might not. She's an experienced commander, but she's also seems a little
involved.
She's personally involved, so she could make hasty decisions. Is there anything that can be done about that? Honestly, I don't know. without having an in with any of her crew, could I talk her out of being crazy? Probably not. And furthermore, if she does snap, I really don't want to be on her ship. Honest?
This is truth. Let us be frank. This is truth.
Like, I don't mean to sound selfish, but if she snaps and does something dumb that completely obliterates the plan,
If she snaps and does something dumb that completely obliterates the plan, her ship at least has escape pods.
well, that's I guess there's escape pods. Yeah, I was going to say that the thing is, if she does something dumb, it's going to be like ramming the thing, and I don't want to be on that ship when she does. I'd rather be on another ship than can go bye. Escape
Whereas
pods,
Noctis
maybe.
may very well want to be on the hammerhead, perhaps even the one hoisting the barrel, with his extra set of arms.
We're also assuming that there's not going to be an opening behind where we ram, and things that haven't gotten cleared out yet suddenly are saying surprise.
Oh, I'm assuming there's going to be something like that. There's no way we've taken out.
Yes, I wondered about that too. That's one of the reasons I was thinking maybe I should accompany the barrel as well. But
Stop reading my notes.
It's also, in my opinion, being a kind of person that doesn't drive, you stick with your driver, because if they decide to go fly, you're screwed.
Yep.
But, I mean, we could convince anyone else to do that, too, if we had to. Maybe. I mean, the thing is, if you're talking about the concept of staying with the barrel because something could go wrong there, it probably wouldn't be best for it to be just you.
Well,
if we were going to
Noctis was going to join me. Is Noctis coming with the barrel as well?
I think it's more just Noctis wants to be with the boarding party because he wants to stab things.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
We should definitely split the party.
Always
All right,
always split the party. It never goes bad.
You cover more ground that way. Or can be used to cover more ground. One of the two.
Right.
Is the weapon on the bombard also on an exposed deck? I forget.
Yes.
It is on an exposed deck. However,
the GIF all have firearms. They're like 23 of them. And,
however, the advantage that the Great Cannon has is that it is actually considered part of the Grand Bombard, meaning it doesn't have independent hit points, unlike a Ballista or a Mangonel or something like that. Right. Meaning that the only way you can beat it into stopping shooting is to literally destroy the Grand Bombard.
Okay, so there's no mechanism that could be messed with there, really.
Right.
Aside from it not working in an internal sense, which is what you're there for. But we don't have to post a guard on, like, a lever or something.
Right.
For it to do its part.
Like we said a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever. Effectively, the bombard and the Grand Bombard are like an A-10 Warthog. It is a gun with a ship built around it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Grand Bombard go.
Honestly, if I were going to have to do something wonky, probably what it would be involving the fact that I can literally fly through the space soup.
Right.
So what ship I'm on is probably an irrelevant point. If I were going to need to do something special and useful, I'd already be screwed if there was an emergency.
Well, it's you can fly through the soup, but ships are going to be fairly far apart once the engagement begins. So you could be talking about taking longer to get from ship to ship than the length of the engagement.
Seth,
No, I'm not talking about ship to ship. I'm saying if I have to do something in the soup, then if that ship evacs, I'm screwed already anyway.
Oh, okay, fair.
Is what I'm saying.
Right. Seth, I have a suggestion.
What's that?
Why don't you go with Gordon and guard Gordon while he's tinkering with the thing? And that way we'll only be split up kind of like in half instead of
And just bodyguard over the two most important parts of the
Aspects
operation.
plan. Yeah.
I
There's three.
Um,
There's three. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gordon.
I don't like that, primarily because I don't like that particular classification. Most important part. It's not. Is sorry. I'm.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. That was the wrong way to put it. Most. There are three most discrete operations.
Right.
Everything else is important, but important in terms of the mass combat.
Right.
There are three discrete operations within the plan in which specific things can go wrong that are
Right.
different from what we've been doing all along.
Right.
That is the better way to put it.
Right.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
And
Now
the third is setting the bomb off.
Right. And that'll be the sniping with the Star Moth.
I can't think of any way any of us could particularly help that.
Okay, there is one way you could, but it would change what feat you took at 4th level.
Well,
yeah.
Because if you took Spell Sniper, you could do it with an Eldritch Bolt. Because your range would be stupid.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're like, oh, is this that thing where the bomb, where the fuse goes out? Like, we can't relight it. No problem.
I mean, yeah, like that's the fuse goes out and the sharpshooter uses their pistol from 300 yards and hits and shoots the fuse in a way that causes it to light again. Like that's a thing. That is a possibility.
Be a set of vessels.
Yeah.
That would be in the right positions to do that. Some
Yeah.
of them would be, some of them wouldn't be, according to the plan.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, any of them that are small and fast enough, including the Wandering Glider, you could do that with at the last minute.
And pick that feat at the last minute if it otherwise doesn't work, because I haven't picked one yet. They're like, oh, well, I guess I know what I'm taking now.
Yep.
We used to do that with languages all the time. What do you speak? I'll let you know when we run into something we don't know what they're saying. Used to do that in campaigns all the time.
That's one way to pick your languages.
Yep.
I ended up with Celestial because I was supposed to be something other than a tabaxi at first. So
okay, so Gordon definitely, specifically wants to be on the bombard to do the thing.
It is. I am required there for that part of the plan in case something goes off.
Maeve is kind of mentally torn between want to stay with my ship and really want to make sure the bomb goes off right.
I'm thinking if they're going to encounter resistance to the boarding party, I could be helpful.
I think that's where you're most likely to encounter problems and resistance that aren't already planned for, is the boarding party. The bombard has a bunch of GIF on it already with their weapons. The only thing that's going to happen is that they get attacked. It's going to be what they're expecting anyway.
The biggest problem they could run into is running out of bullets.
That's impossible.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's
Again, we don't know that for certain.
Well, no, I'm not saying the Grand Cannon running out of bullets.
Oh, the gift.
I meant the 32 guys with guns running out of bullets.
Right.
Because then they have to throw rocks.
I don't see that being a thing that tends to happen to the gift.
Noctis, are you gonna come on the boarding party or what?
The boarding party is, I think, where the biggest risk is. Because I think if something's going to go weird, I think that's where it's going to go weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to involve some fisticuffs as well, so...
Yeah, it honestly wouldn't even be disproportionate for all three of us to come on that if you wanted that much backup, because I really think if something's going to go wrong...
we do have the
The Githyanki are
The
adept at
Githyanki
combat.
Yes.
Marines. We're just
Yes.
kind of being paranoid.
And they are, I mean, so the Githyanki are in charge of the boarding party. So
Yeah,
they
because it's
are
the Hammerhead
very-
doing the boarding party.
Yeah, I don't know where my notes are. I don't really
Okay.
remember who's
Yeah.
on what ship right now.
Yeah,
So-
Caligrath is the Githyanki captain of the Hammerhead.
Well, the good news is that we can be pretty sure they're not going to chicken out.
Oh no,
No.
The Githyanki are
They want to do
emphatic
Yeah.
as a race. Once they've decided they're going to do this, they're going to do it if it kills every single one of them.
Yeah.
They're very, very emphatic. So that's the good news. We have the right people in charge of doing that.
I still want to fry things with my thunder boom. So,
That's a good point.
multiple
So-
targets. Bladoosh.
So do you want to be there, and do you want Knock, and do you want Reg as backup?
Yeah, I do.
Reg, you okay with that?
Works for me.
Stab some things.
Are you going to come with us then?
Honestly, where I would like to be, and I don't know how possible this is, where I would really want to be is somewhere where I can see and adjust for as many weird things that could happen as possible.
On one of the smaller, faster ships.
On one of the smaller, faster ships.
Which would be either the squid ship, the flying fish, or the wandering glider.
So you get to stay with our home ship then. Unless you want to go on the
I mean,
switch.
if the captain's okay with the idea of running potential interdiction for weird stuff.
I mean, that's pretty much going to be the job, right? Like it's
Yeah.
and this is a capital ship combat, so the capital ships are doing the big fighting,
Most
and
of the
everything
big-
else is doing interdiction.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I would probably be best. I think the situation would be best served by me being in an interdiction position.
Okay.
So I guess at that point, probably just stay in the glider. I don't think any of the other interdictors really have a specific job, and there are other ones that are better at the other stuff, the peeling targets off and whatnot.
Right.
So it probably is best for me to stay on the glider, and then that way we don't have to borrow crew for a third
Okay.
for
Right.
our own weapon.
Well, you still will have to because
Yeah.
captain has to
'cause
be on the
someone
helm.
needs- It's 3, and yeah, okay, so we'd only
Right.
have to borrow one.
Right.
Yeah, but you can min crew down by just borrowing one, and there's somebody on the Algon that you can grab.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the best arrangement, so that if we run into something... Yeah, I don't know where my notes are. So that if we run into something, we can get to it.
Right.
If we see something happening with the boarding party, we can get over there. If we see the bombard taking more attack than it should, we can get over there. If we see something interfere with the ship taking the blast shot, we can either get over there to help them or interdict for them, or, mercy forbid, find another way to take the shot.
Okie doke.
Alright, sounds like we're firming our plans.
All right. So to clarify,
Go ahead.
Gordon will be on the Grand Bombard. Maeve and Reggie will be on the Hammerhead. And Seth will be on the Wandering Glider. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of
So-
scene cuts in this episode. A lot of scene cuts.
There will be a lot of
Yeah.
scene cuts.
Now,
I am now
before
going to explain some mechanical rules that we are going to apply.
Oh.
For ship actions, such as firing ship weapons or anything that is considered a crew action. You will not be able to use cards to affect your individual skills because it requires the use of the crew to do to do that thing. Okay.
Okay.
If there is something that you specifically need to do, you can affect that. But that's the extent of that. I will allow players to roll for events, crew actions, etc., that occur on the boats that their characters are on, so that it gives the players more interactivity with the fight. And I will allow players to control the movement of the boats that they're on, should they so choose. But they can't spend cards on anything that is not the character's activity, or anything that is not an individual person's activity.
Right.
Healing cards you can still use for yourself or other crew members, because that's an individual thing rather than a mass thing. So there's that. This fight may involve a bit of scene cutting back and forth. Also, we will be using what is called grouped initiative, which is to say each vessel and everyone on that vessel will have a single initiative value.
Yeah, it's a lot more practical, I think.
With the exception of if there is activity that occurs in a grand scrum when the boarding party boards, that would be a time for individual initiative.
Yeah.
So at that point, anybody that's on that boat would be rolling individually, and then resolving their actions within the space of when that boat goes in the overall initiative.
Right.
Okay. But that's pretty much going to be the extent of the mechanical devices. Everything else is pretty much going to be normal D&D, or just automated within Forge and Foundry. So everything else should pretty much work the way it's supposed to. Okay?
All right. So before we all go on to individual ships, I need to speak to Reggie real quick.
Okay. You guys get to have a scene.
I just want to go over the tchotchke and make sure that the thing is that it still returns.
Okay.
Yeah. You take a couple minutes, you fiddle with it. Yeah, it's still working just fine.
Yeah.
And I say this to Reggie because, unfortunately, it needs to be said. If this at any time does not come back, it means I'm dead.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a little bit of me is literally in that. I will ask you, and I will ask you to keep, since Maeve will be with you. If that happens, do the job, get out. Do not take additional actions. You are a practical individual, and I'm hoping you will stay that way. But Maeve is going to be your primary objective. As a personal favor, protecting Maeve is going to be your primary objective while on that action.
Okay.
Aside from, of course, cutting the ever-loving duck. Cutting the ever-living that's trying to stop you from planting that bomb.
Oh, look at it this way. You're not tasty. You don't have to worry about me eating you.
My dude. Right. Well, let's go.
All right. We
Dark scenes, those are the ones blowing the thing up.
We cut to Reggie. I'm sorry. We cut to Gordon boarding the Grand Bombard.
Yay!
I go over real quick, check on Gordonculus, see how he's doing.
I mean, everything looks like it should be working properly. As you're checking over the equipment, you feel a very large hand clasped down on your shoulder. Not enough to cause your knee to give out, but it's
Right.
questionable for a split second.
Yeah. Admiral,
There we are, good man. So,
look up at the big fella. Yes, sir.
so are we ready for glory?
And the hand just goes, poof. Leroy Jenkins, sir.
Good show. Good show. This will be a moment long remembered. I mean, either way, really.
Yeah. Still, I'd prefer we kept our. I'd prefer when this is all over, we could go and have the strong expression.
We cut to the Hammerhead, and you see Captain Calligraph receiving a jolly boat that has Mafe and Reggie on it. So you decided you wanted to be where the real action's going to be, huh?
Yes, indeed, sir.
Good.
Just in case we get swarmed with something.
As you're having this conversation, the aesthetic buzzes close and actually drops down into the air pocket of the Hammerhead, just long enough for Arla to roll out of a port on the side of the aesthetic and drop onto the deck of the Hammerhead, landing, with a hero landing.
Of course.
3-point hero landing.
Gotta be cooler than coming by a jolly boat.
And she just stands up, looks at the two of you, smiles, looks at Calligraph and goes, "Captain, permission to join the boarding party."
All right.
Ooh.
Calligraph smiles and says, "For a lock shoe, permission granted and sustained until further notice."
Yes, sir.
And at that point, everyone's where they need to be. There are no other crew that appear on the Bombard that move around. There is no other crew that appears on the Hammerhead aside from the 2 PCs and the 1 additional NPC that arrived there.
Mhm.
And with that, we're going to start by having the Bombard fire a beginning blast at the whale, and then everything will roll initiative, and then we're going to see what happens.
We're gonna do the thing. All the things.
Do the thing.
So, Bacon.
Start.
The armor class of a whale roughly the size of Nantucket Island is 13.
It's 13.
You can't miss it, but it's kind of thick.
Thick. Right. So right in the middle. Makes sense.
You have a D20 plus 5 to roll the 2 hit for the... Actually, can I assign this boat to you real quick? so that you can, because I programmed the controls into it.
Wait, we were talking about it. Is it possible that we could assign it to one of the hot buttons? Is there any chance that? Yeah, that'd probably take too long to program.
Let me try this real quick. Can you double click on the bombard?
Double clicking on
Can,
the
can you
bombard.
can you get anything to come up if you click on the bombard?
That is no. Afraid
Okay.
not.
All right. Well, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go onto your character, and I'm going to temporarily put on an attack on your character, which would be the bombard's ability, effectively.
Okay.
Bombardment.
Yes.
Bombardment is bombard. The bombarding thing.
All right. So features, and we're going to. You should now have, under active abilities in features, Grand Cannon, Ballista, and Ballista.
I have Grand Cannon, Ballista, and Ballista.
All right.
Woohoo!
Do me a favor. Just do a test run on those dice for me.
Test run only. I will. Okay. I'm not targeting at this time.
Correct.
I am only doing. Okay. I think that took me into account as well.
I don't see any result.
I see an attack roll.
Yeah, D20 plus 7 plus 3 plus 2.
Oh, it did. Let me adjust you. Because the total should be plus 7. So then if I just make its bonus a plus 2, then that will be correct.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
And the other ones should be plus 6. So if I just make them plus 1s, that'll be correct. Okay.
Here we go. Grand Cannon.
Okay, yeah, that worked. And now just roll a damage result. Just so you can see how many dice you get to throw. So that was 115 points of damage.
I particularly like how it says magic bludgeoning.
It does say magic bludgeoning.
Do you know why I had to make sure it was magic bludgeoning? And I actually, just to make sure nothing went wrong, coded the damage type as thunder.
Oh.
Because the White Kindori is resistant to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage.
Yep.
But it will no longer be resistant to the Grand Bombard because part of the loading mechanism is a +1 to hit magical. And a +1 to damage and makes it magical.
Yep.
So they could have used up like all their ammunition before and possibly not even kill it because it was resistant to everything.
Because it would have done half the damage it's going to do now.
Yep. You want me to do tests on the ballista?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as one of them worked, I know the rest are going to work.
Okay, we're fine then.
Okay. Let me set up. I'm going to do the same thing. The hammerhead has 2 mangonels and a ballista. So I'm going to put a mangonel on each of your characters. And I'll fire the ballista so that everything's even. And that means that we're going to adjust this down by 3. And we'll adjust this one also down by 3. Oh no, you have a bigger bonus. All right, we got to adjust that all the way down. All right. Cool. All right. So both of you now under active abilities have Mangonel 100 hit points. And for Ari, Mangonel and Ballista.
And what's the difference between those two? I thought we only had one weapon on the ship.
Oh, that's right. Technically, yours is a slightly different model. So let me remove the Mangonel. So you just have a Ballista to fire.
Okay, that's fine.
Good call. Good call. So each of you will have a crew-oriented weapon to fire. You cannot use cards to affect the hit roll or damage rolls of that weapon.
Okay.
Anything that happens to your ship that affects you directly, you can still take actions for. Anything that happens to affect your ship directly, you may be able to take other actions for your character. You can use cards for reactions, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, here we go. Bacon,
Boom, boom.
why don't you start us off? You have advantage on your first attack.
I'm sorry again?
You have advantage on your first attack.
Very good.
Courtesy of Rose, and she got that in before I said this rule, so I'm going to let it stick.
That's fair.
Fair. Admiral? One shot or full volley?
I mean, if we're going to do this, we might as well do it right.
Indeed.
And by right, I mean loudly.
Okay, now I do have to roll them individually, of course. But.
Yes, because it's the same as if you would use for extra attack. So he can fire up to 5 extra attacks. So begin with your first attack.
First attack, which is on advantage, that's going to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. Should we just hold and do the attacks before we do all the damage?
Roll the damage.
Okay. First damage coming up.
That's 119.
I'm just gonna get
It is so pretty.
All right. Okay.
Two coming in.
You are now aware, before you roll the second one.
Go ahead.
You are aware, because you can feel a rumbling through the ship, that you are... Actually, no, I'll wait till you fire the second one, because you wouldn't know yet. So go ahead.
All right. Firing 2.
2 will hit.
Gonna hit.
$134.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Okay.
You are aware, because you feel something move slightly wrong in the ship, that the recoil compensators were never designed to reset this quickly.
Yeah. Shoot.
So you are going to have a escalating mishap. If you roll a die that is lower than the number of shots you have fired,
okay.
the gun will break.
Wow.
Uh-oh. I
when
mean,
we can't...
If we have a
cards
bombard
to
built,
affect it.
we could actually fix that, but
And that's
currently...
yes. This is something that can be designed to be built later, but you are... I mean, you just poured... You just poured, 30 ounces of NOS into an engine that's motor mounts were not designed to take it.
Yeah.
And is this in the category of something that he cannot affect these rolls to prevent that happening?
He cannot affect, like, adding a +1 to these rolls, he can't do because it's a crew action, and even if he could, it would still be the number rolled, and thus, yeah.
Can he still use a fate point to reroll?
I said cards, I did not say fate points, so I will allow a fate point to be a reroll that will affect that number as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you are right, and we didn't clarify that ahead of time, so I will err on the side of the players.
Okay, so this is the third shot. If it comes up 2, I've broken up the gun.
Well, also, I guess might be a question that you would ask is
If it comes up lower than 2.
would the compensators reset if you
For the length of the battle.
for length of battle? Okay.
Yes.
For the battle. Okay.
This is the balancing factor for him being allowed to fire this thing 5 times in a turn.
Right.
It may only last 1 or 2 turns, and it's guaranteed to not last 5.
Yeah.
Right, mathematically, right. Oh, because the number of times he's fired it total.
Yes.
Okay, not per round, but total.
No, total shells.
Okay.
However,
which ultimately, Bacon, it doesn't really matter because, like, how many times you fire it is how many times you fire it. Like, no one else has the ability to do that much damage to it. So
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so this will be the third shot.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll 1 or a 2, I break the gun.
1, because it has fired twice so far, and you have to roll lower than the number of times you have fired.
That you have already fired. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And he did say we go
still
for
get a one.
full barrel, so
Right.
let's
Yep.
do this.
he said do it.
Go. And it's
You
a
hit,
one.
and it does not break. So please roll your
Shot.
damage.
Nope, that missed. You said 13.
Oh, 13. That does miss. Okay.
Play it on.
4th shot.
See again?
Would you like to take
yeah.
your 4th shot?
Shot.
No.
And that is a
What's
1.
Oh.
Broken the gun.
So,
Screw it. Fate point.
okay.
Yeah, too early for that.
All right, so that'll be a reroll. That is most definitely a hit.
Okay. Oh god, that is just so pretty.
Set on cooldown because I'll give it back to you.
Yep. Last shot for the round.
For the round. And that hits.
That'll hit.
Oof.
Outside. Go, Newton.
All right. Now,
All right, Bacon, I've replenished your fate point.
thank you. I realize this. I'm going to say I felt it start to go,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to yell to the Admiral, "We have a problem!"
And with that, we will all... So he yells, "We have a problem." You all see that a huge section of the whale has been ripped free, and it is listing to the side. As
Oh,
you
I
just
want
saw...
this to go. I so want this to go.
You saw 5 10-ton shells fire within 6 seconds from the bombard, and just
Oh.
poof, 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 right into the side of the thing, and has ripped off hundreds of tons of necrotic tissue.
oh, I am so glad that smell does not travel in space.
Right?
Right?
Oh,
That-
good
This
thing,
all
good
going
thing.
on, kids. He saw 5 shells go out, 4 shells hit, and they still got 17 shells on the GB.
Oh,
'Cause that's all
I'm
four-
sorry. You had 1 loaded.
Oh, that's right. So we're 16
So
now.
hold on a second. You had 1 loaded. It
Right.
fired the 1.
Right.
As the crew was moving the second round to load in, a eldritch ball of force appeared in the barrel, and it
Yep.
fired,
Right,
not using the ship's ammunition.
Right.
right.
That the shell they were loading was still moving into position as the third round went off. So that one was also a magical round that didn't take any ammunition. So
Right.
you've confirmed that that works.
Yes.
Yes.
They got the round in just in time for that to be the fourth shot.
Right.
And then the fifth shot went off, and that one was also magical as the crane just started to come back.
Right.
You have tripled the ship's total ammo capacity. The ship would effectively be able to fire 48 rounds before it was firing solely magical ammunition. However, we all know it's not going to last 48 rounds.
No.
What would happen if it were firing solely magical ammunition?
It would be firing solely magical ammunition. It wouldn't cost anything to fire the bullets.
So why are they reloading it at all? Force attack?
Because it's an automated system.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
The only way the automated system wouldn't be working, and the automated system is part of the magical shells, the only way the automated system wouldn't be working would be if they just dumped all of the shells overboard for some stupid reason.
Okay.
Hey, Brewfest.
Got it.
So,
Got it.
but you have already fired 5 shots, and it has only cost the crew 2. So you have demonstrated that A, it'll self-generate ammunition.
Yep.
B, it can in fact fire multiple shots.
Yep.
And C, the ship cannot take it, Captain.
The ship
cannot
cannot take it.
Yep.
No.
And
God.
Now you know what to design for.
Yeah, no, I do. But while all that's happening, I've got to talk to the Admiral because maybe I can prolong it a little bit, buy us some time. But anyway.
And now
we roll initiative.
Now we roll initiatives.
Oh, am I rolling for the ship as well?
You can roll for Noctis and Sadie. I will allow both of you to roll, and we will average the 2 for when your ship goes.
Now, am I using
am I
my
rolling,
initiative
D20?
count, or am I
Just your
using
normal initiative.
Okay.
Am I rolling a d20 or?
You're rolling initiative.
Oh, well, that means I need to find my
Character sheet.
Your character is your characters are in this bottom corner right here.
Yep.
Oh, I've never gone into it that way. I always click on the tab.
Battle.
Yeah, I always do it to the character sheet.
Well, either way you want to do it. I don't care how. I just care that there's a number.
19.
Nice.
Woo, woo, woo. Oh, it was only 16. Poop.
I mean, still between
That's
a
still
16 and a
pretty
15,
high.
you guys are going to be good.
It's still pretty high. All the pretty dices.
All the pretty dices.
Dices. Oh, it's bloodied already.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, I just saw that, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. It was bloodied after, I think, the second... Not the last shot. It was before that, actually.
Are we all ready?
Let's
For
go.
what we do not know, for you to roll the rest of the dice?
Yeah.
Oh, the Kindori's got a good initiative.
It just disappeared.
It's because I'm turning it around.
Oh.
Okay, good. Oh, we have got its attention.
I installed 2 models so that either way it has to be facing in the fight. It won't be floating through space upside down, and thus my CDO is my CDO approves.
Even though in space it really shouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but I'm not in space. All right, so when the bombard moves, the bombard can move 1 square. When the hammerhead moves, the hammerhead at full speed, so it's dashing, and you guys can still fire, can move 3 squares.
Hey, my little pretty. There you go.
The interdictors can all move 3 squares. The whale ship moves 1. The Kindori bone ship moves 2. The aesthetic moves 2. and the Star Moth moves 2. Okay.
Have you got control of the Hammerhead Noctis?
I'll probably have to move it. Like, you'll just like tick what direction you want it to go, and I'll move it that way.
And what's our range? Firing range?
You're going to be within ranges.
Okay, all right. Okay,
That's not going to be a problem. The numbers here aren't accurate. Each of these squares is roughly 50 feet. However, don't really worry about the numbers.
Okay.
All right.
Peripherals. Hey.
We want to go this way, I think.
All right. Well, you're going to wait till your initiative.
Oh, okay.
And we are going to begin combat.
Because after all, this entire map is inaccurate anyway because it's a 2-dimensional map. So
Yeah.
no way
I mean, there is that.
There's
Also,
jolly boats on here.
there's no way we're in a flat line across space.
Also, at the start of the first initiative, a wave of noxious energy comes off of the whale.
Okay.
And everyone take 5 hit points.
Ooh.
It's energy. It's not. I can hold my breath.
It's not, you can hold your breath.
Okay. Just checking.
It's bad jujus.
Okay.
Necrotic energy. Yeah.
Whale farts. Yep. Okay. So,
We gotta do -5 points. So that's...
Oh yeah, it's probably heading towards the bombard, isn't it?
just a little bit. Okay. It is now going to take its multi-attack action. The White Kandori can do 3 of the following attacks in a turn: Tail, Life Drain, Tentacle, or Psychic Whisper. The only action that can be done more than once during the multi-attack is a Psychic Whisper. So, it is going to do I'm going to say it's out of range for the tail attack. So it is going to do a... It is going to attack with a Life Drain and Parasitic Tentacle and Psychic Whisper to random crew members on the bombard. Because it can't... those are personal weapons, so it can't really differentiate yet. Okay? I'm going to roll a d30. If it's... D35. If it comes up a 1, it's the Admiral. If it comes up a 2, it's Gordon.
Okay.
All right. First attack is not either of you. Second attack is not either of you.
Oh, no, it's not secret. Okay. It's not
secret. It just didn't roll for some reason. But it showed up in chat. So that's all that matters. So, you see a beam of necrotic energy hit one of the crew members.
Oh.
Doing 20 points of damage. And no further effect to the crew member beyond that. The second crew member, a thin tentacle, able to just sneak out even across this massive length as just thousands of hair-like tentacles sprout from the white whale.
It's all about tentacles in this game.
Hits a crew member. He is dead.
Ooh!
Which means he automatically fails the saving throw.
Because he's dead.
Well, he was dead. My guess.
And then a...
That's where the problem is.
Yes. Also, at the start of its turn, you see the White Kandori begin to regenerate. Which is why it's no longer bloodied. It is still injured, but it's no longer bloodied. The crew member on board the bombard that just died to the tentacle attack, his body begins to shift and mold, and you can see it taking on the shape of one of the floating horror things that you had already faced. Neither Gordon nor the Admiral need to worry about that. 32 other GIF are going to shoot it in the face.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not going to happen, but, you know, on less populated crews, that might be a thing, and now you know that that's a thing.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is it is going to do a Psychic Scream, or a Psychic Whisper, rather, which...
No, it's a spell song.
Which
really
it targets one creature it can see, or the Spelljammer of a vessel within range. So the Spelljammer of the ship has to make a Wisdom saving throw, which he failed.
Was that also on the bombard?
On the bombard.
Okay.
And you hear from the aft deck, you hear the human mage, which is part of the crew, scream in pain and almost fall out of the chair.
Ooh, fighting this thing's kind of nasty.
I mean, that's what happens when you're up against boss fights.
We had to think this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Still, this is scary shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not just a big critter. It's more than that.
And for its bonus action, it will use its blinding eyes, and it fires a cone attack.
Oh, good lord.
Oh!
Oh, jeez.
That's about to suck.
If you are in the area of that effect, make a Wisdom DC 12, or you're blinded for 1 minute.
A whole minute, huh?
The good news is that that's an ability that it has to be able to recharge. So it.
Oh, okay. So they can't do it just all the time.
Well, I'm actually not in the area of effect.
I'm
So you're
gonna
fine.
roll that.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
For the swarm.
I'm not
Oh wait, wrong
going
game.
to.
I mean, not necessarily.
GM.
So
I'm gonna get the shooting thing at least one
There we
more time.
go.
So that was a fate point.
That
Ari?
was a fate point.
That was
Yes,
fate
that was
point.
fate point.
Let's see here. And I got replenished.
Spend 'em early, spend 'em often.
You did.
Yes.
Well, see, here's this thing then. Let's see here.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I'm going to assume that for everyone else, somebody on those vessels passes, and like it doesn't really matter because NPCs switching places, right? So
Okay.
Seth gets hers back then.
Seth gets yours back then.
Yep.
All right. And next up is Bacon.
Okay.
You have fired 5 times. If you roll a 4 or lower,
Come on, Nathan.
gun go plop.
Come on, Nathan.
Okay. In the meantime,
That's okay.
while I am we will. The admiral is firing, but I am trying to explain to him this is the issue that we have.
Okay.
I am going to suggest we do not fire all 5.
Okay.
In the meantime, while he is firing, I am literally trying to do anything that I can do to buy us a little bit more time in this thing.
Give me an Arcana roll.
Okay.
You're gonna try and stabilize it.
Yeah.
You have a 19. You are working on a plan.
Working on a plan.
How many shots do you want him to fire this turn?
3.
Okay. Take 3 shots.
Okay. The nasty target. 4 or less were screwed. Right?
4 or less gun go plop.
4 or less gonna go plop.
5. You miss, but gun no go plop.
Okay. 5 or less is bad.
Now the next shot, 5 or less is bad. Yes. That is a hit, and gun does not go plop.
And
So
that one
please
gets-
roll your damage, sir.
Roll all those dice, baby.
That's
Oh,
142 damage.
6 or less, gonna go plop.
One more. Come on. Good
That-
roll. No whammies.
All right.
No whammies.
Before we calculate that damage, I just
Okay.
want to take a moment to do this.
Okay. Before this one.
Before this one, which is why
Okay,
I said it.
Good.
So then that's another 124.
Right.
But think how much harder this would be if you couldn't fire multiple times in a round and it's regenerating everyone.
I know. It's
Like-
this just
But it's still really good here.
Okay. Gordon,
yo.
if you fire 3 rounds or less,
Mm-hmm.
you can remove 1 from the mishap table.
Okay.
If you fire only 1 round, you can remove a d6 from the mishap table.
Okay.
Each round going forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That means I could. That means I have a diagnostic running,
Yeah.
and I can potentially not destroy this relic.
Yeah. As the
my
captain is
ego.
firing, you keep diving underneath of it, trying to
things.
figure out what you can do to affect the lock points. And as you hear the chamber close, you're like, whoop, and slide back out, wait till it fires, and then scramble back under again.
Yeah. Yep. Jeez.
And as the Grand Bombard finishes its turn, the White Kandori will use one of its legendary actions this turn.
Oh crap.
Because it's doing the same thing we are. You use them early, use them often.
Yeah.
And it will again fire a parasitic tentacle at someone on the bombard. The bombard is currently down to a crew of 34.
Mm-hmm.
Same rules as before.
Right.
I know why it's not rolling. Because there is no D34 schematic it can put up.
Oh, you actually programmed a D. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we get down to a 30 and then to a 20, you'll be able to see it.
Right.
Okay.
So that is someone that is not important.
Fine.
I have got to go to the bathroom.
Go for it. That'll hit. That'll kill a crew member, so it automatically fails its save. So 30 of its buddies shoot it full of holes.
Yeah.
You have lost 2 crew members off the bombard. Neither of them
Yeah.
are the important ones.
Yeah.
That is the Gandori and Bacon's turn. So Jolly Boat number this one is going to move. And it's going to move 3 squares forward. And it is going to fire a ballista. Which fails to do anything.
I mean,
Sadie is next, but we will wait for a second.
come back to her.
Yeah, we
Okay,
will
wait.
come back. She won't lose her turn. We will have we have enough other things that can roll.
Yeah, and since the Kandori goes first, it's until
Everything
it's
else
round on.
happens in between, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it still has other legendary actions it can use, but they don't matter yet. So it does 14 damage to the Kandori, except that it only does 7
Right.
because of resistance.
Okay.
Noctis, you are up, sir. You may fire your weapon.
see if this works the way I think it should. Nope.
If you go into your character inventory,
Well, it told me I don't have control over the... Or your controlled wandering does not have an item with that name.
I have an active ability on your features card. There you go. Roll that. There you go. You have successfully rolled. However, you have missed.
Yes.
And the hammerhead is going to move here. Actually, it's going to move here because it is trying to stay to the blind side.
Yeah.
The next one up is going to be the whale ship, which is going to move one forward, and it's going to fire a buttload of ballistas and 2 mangonels. I should just roll these in groups. I'm going to roll the other 2 in groups. It has 4 ballistas and 2 mangonels. All 4 of the ballistas miss, and 1 of the mangonels hits. Just getting a die thrown. The mangonel does 35 points of damage, which is to say 17.
Which is halved.
A far cry from the 140 that the bombard is doing per turn.
Slacker.
Sadie, you're up. You can try to shoot your gun.
Oh, I get to shoot a gun?
Yeah, well, you have a mangonel, so you have a catapult. It should be listed under active abilities under features on your character sheet.
Okay, so we're not gonna. I can't use my turn to move then.
I moved the ship while you were gone
Oh, you
because you
moved it?
already said where you wanted it to go, so I moved it there.
Okay. Mangonel. Where is it? I'm sorry. Where is it?
Under features
Features.
and then active abilities.
Okay, yes, I see that.
Cool.
All right. On attack roll, normal.
And that's a hit.
Good roll, good roll.
So now roll your damage.
Okay, and damage roll, normal. Oh, that's a lot of
Nice.
Oh,
35.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
That is halved to 17.
Okay.
Still a good roll, though.
But it's the best damage to anything that's not the big guy has done so far, so we'll take
Yeah.
it. The scorpion ship is just focusing everything on trying to move as fast as the ship that it's supposed to be working with. The last jolly boat is going to move up, and it's going to take its shot. And it will hit. And it will do 22 damage, which becomes 11.
Still not terrible.
Huh. I don't really think my icon has moved.
I guarantee you when you get a chance to go back and watch, the hammerhead moved forward 3 squares.
Okay,
It did.
Yeah.
fine.
The squid ship, because here's the thing. It's not a lot of space. They're very small squares.
I guess they are.
About the size of Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
just really tiny.
That's bad. That's also bad. The squid ship does nothing.
Okay. Wandering glider didn't go.
No, it didn't. You're up.
I would like to try to move out of its primary cone arc if I can.
Okay, so you want to move below
Yeah.
the bombard, like here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I still want to be on the side with the open wound in case I need to do something fancy, but I don't want to be in its
There you go.
firing arc. Cool. Worst case, if I somehow manage to annoy it enough that I become its entire primary firing arc, that's still good. Okay, and all I can really do is
Thank you,
fire the
Bufros.
ship's gun, right?
Yes.
So the ballista
Hits.
I mean, it's not nothing.
It's better than a kick in the teeth.
Yeah,
It really is. We need all of it.
it's out of range of even my personal stuff unless I take that feat. So
Yeah.
all I can do is fire the ship's gun for right now.
And the flying fish. Whoops. Go back. Flying fish. We'll move forward.
Also, step away for 1 second.
The flying fish will fire a ballista, which hits, doing an adjusted 13. And its mangonel hits. Doing an adjusted 13. So Captain Melee did 26. And the aesthetic has no weapons that can reach. So it's just trying to move forward as best it can. And everyone has made it to round number 2.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
The first thing that happens is regeneration. And the legendary actions reset. Roram, thank you for the raid. And if this is a 5 or a 6, it can do its blinding light again.
Jeez.
It cannot.
Okay.
So now it just has to do its multi-attack.
Okay.
It is going to move forward.
Fergus.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
So it is now close enough to do a
Oh,
tail
that's
attack.
helpful.
Oh,
And is going to
That's
tail
helpful.
swipe one of the swifts.
oh god. Here's where we start losing entire ships all at once.
Yeah.
It hits the swift,
Oh god.
doing 65 points of damage to a boat that has 150. So the swift is not out of combat, but it is badly damaged.
It is battered.
Okay, we have
If the Swift wanted to take a hike, I wouldn't blame it.
Well, these 3 swifts were all launched by the Algon, so they won't be
so they won't
leaving.
be pulling
Otherwise, they'll just die in the vacuum of space. So
back. 'Cause-
for the
Just
second
catching
part of
force
its
will not
multi-attack, it will again fire a parasitic tentacle and a life drain at the bombard.
Great.
Crew members currently 33? No, 32,
32.
because we've killed 3 and we started with 35.
Have we killed 3 already? Wow. I only remember 2 of them. It's just hard to
That is
remember.
number 32.
Okay.
Okay.
The last one?
Yeah, the guy that Gordon was going to be replacing. And an 11. So, neither of those... Oh, wrong button. Neither of those are going to attack anybody important. The parasitic tentacles hit, doing only 18 points of damage, so the crew member has a chance to pass a saving throw. And he passes. So he doesn't become a horrible undead abomination.
Nice. That had to happen sooner or later.
He's dead.
Ooh. Ooh.
Crit.
All right.
Ugh.
Okay. The life drain attack hits a crew member, and literally as the beam of necrotic energy just passes through him, he just Thanos vaporizes.
Oh.
Like there's not even a chance for anything to see anything done by it. It's just it's just
poof gone.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel sorry for the Admiral. He's going to be writing a lot of condolence letters.
Yeah, but I mean, this is how they want to go. So,
condolence letters.
Bacon.
Congratulations letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you did the thing.
Congratulations, your son has reached Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's got to be a gift Valhalla somewhere.
Congratulations, he died
Well,
doing the
they
thing.
don't know.
Like, what do you want?
They don't know because they've lost track of who their gods are.
Yeah.
They just
Our gods are the kind.
they just are pretty sure they're acting the way their gods want them to because their astral spark ability still functions.
Yep. All right. Since I now know, and I'm assuming I have to fire before I can do the fix, so we still have to risk it.
Yes.
Okay.
And you are currently at you have fired 8 times, so your fail number is a 7.
Right. Admiral, 1 ping only, please.
All right.
Yeah,
Sorry, terrible, terrible joke, but
I'm sure you have a good reason for it. Although I must say I'm a little bit upset. But he fires.
so am I. Oh,
That is a hit.
Screw you, die. I saw that.
That is a hit.
Yeah. Get all the dice out there.
150 points.
Yep.
Nice.
And now I duck in under the cannon and go mad with the tools.
Okay, so it's currently an 8. Roll a d6 and it will drop by that amount.
Right.
Now is this one of those things that we could
That was
use
3.
cards on because
It's a personal
it's
action.
an individual action?
Yes. A +1 card will still be a +1. A critical will be a 6.
So I can max that
advantage
and
will
make
be
it-
advantage.
And he rolled a 5,
Yes.
I rolled a 5.
so I can make that a 6.
So you can make that a 6.
I'm going to max that out. and make that
Okay.
a 6.
So the fail
Targeting
value
now
for the
2.
cannon is down to a 2.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'll spend on that.
Yeah, we'll run that.
The White Kandori uses its first legendary action to do a tail swipe at the ship that it already has battered, which will hit,
Worship.
and that ship is disabled.
Yeah.
Disable.
Yeah,
Not completely obliterated yet.
it is not dead, but it is at a
can't do
point
anything.
of damage where it cannot function. So
Okay.
that ship we will use this. We will use this as a well, let me mark it as unconscious. Can I mark it as prone? There we go. So that ship is
it's
disabled.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Its crew is not dead. It's just the ship is too battered to
It can't do
be able
anything.
to move. Especially because remember, those swifts aren't spell jammed ships. They're piloted ships, and
Okay.
they've lost 2/3 of the vessel. It's
So that ship is no longer appearing in this film.
yes.
Yeah.
The other jolly boat is going to, knowing the plan, try to make sure that it steers this way to keep it from looking north. And it hits. And it does 15. That becomes an 8. And then after that, it is Sadie's turn.
Okay. Right. I gotta get back to my sheet. Features. Mangonel. Attack.
That is just a miss.
Okay, never mind.
However, where would you like the ship to move?
We need it closer to the Kindori. We're fixing to ram it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
You can move 3. So...
I know it's only going to be 3, but...
All right, so let's say 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
That's the most direct route it could take.
Okay.
All right. The disabled jolly boat is next, and it is disabled. And after that, it is Noctis's turn to shoot. I just realized that the Star Moth isn't anywhere on the initiative, so let's fix that, and I'll just have it move twice, because that's all it would have done at this point anyway. Okay.
Doesn't it have 4 guns?
Yes. But it is trying to maneuver around to the same side that the barrel is going to be on, so it's not trying to draw attention to itself.
Right.
Noctis hits.
Mm-hmm.
Noctis does a 23, which becomes an 11. And it is Ari's turn.
Okay. So we're not on the business side of this, which is fine, but at some point we may need to get to the business side of it. So knowing in my head that this is a 3-dimensional map, we're going to kind of be moving closer, and that we're going to start circling around towards the other side of it.
Okay.
So I guess probably something like that-ish.
So probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And we will fire the thing.
Oh!
That seems to be a crit.
That seems to be a crit.
It's a good roll.
That is a good roll. So that'll be 26 damage.
Yeah.
Best damage so far.
Which I still have.
For a non-bombard.
Yeah.
Well, no, the 26 was the halved value.
Oh, that
You
is
rolled
the
a
half
53.
value. Okay. Okay.
The whale ship moves 1. It fires 4 ballistae, 2 of which hit for a total of 13 points of damage, and then 2 mangonels, 1 of which hits for 12 points of damage. The Kindori will use its second legendary action, and it will do a parasitic tentacle attack at this jolly boat right here.
Who's about to be a little less jolly?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say.
It hits somebody.
Ooh.
It kills him outright, which means he fails a saving throw. So there is now a deep horror on that boat.
Which is pretty tiny. So that's the thing.
Boat that had a crew of 5.
Yeah, that's about to be a
So
thing.
they're dead.
That boat's done. Yeah.
Because that vehicle is at least out of commission for the time being. If not, everyone aboard is dead.
We're just gonna.
We're just gonna say no.
They're not doing anything further until such time as the deep horror finishes killing the crew, which will be 2 rounds.
Okay.
Because remember, the 4 of you fought one of them.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
my
and
things,
their
my
4
other ones.
aren't the same as you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're dead. And if this goes to round 5, there will be a deep horror floating around somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Be that as it may, Scorpion ship is going, but, I'm supposed to be getting to the back of the whale to protect you. Stop moving faster than me.
All right.
The jolly boat that is still left really doesn't like its chances.
It is not feeling particularly jolly at the moment.
It is not feeling particularly jolly.
It's like, why did I sign up for this job?
And it misses. That might be a morale miss.
Yeah. Get that round trout.
Panic miss.
The squid ship, in an excited manner, you know what? It's going to full steam ahead, skimming the top of the swift boat,
Okay.
and it is going to attempt to ram the deep horror.
That's fair.
Oh.
Because it has a piercing ram on the front.
Yeah.
It misses, but it
Good
tried.
idea, though.
It will shoot at the horror as its crew is focused on it. The mangonel has to attack the Kandori because they can't attack something as close as the horror. That will hit. Doing 12 points of damage. Star Moth moves.
Like the entire rest of the fleet is doing like 1 shell per round compared to the bombard.
Yeah, seriously.
Basically.
The flying fish
We're like 1 extra shell.
is also going to move forward. And it is going to fire its ballista at the deep horror, trying to save a couple crewmen if it can. Maybe? Armor class 15, yes. Doing 11 points of damage to something that has over 100. So, okay, so maybe not.
So
But he
maybe.
tried. The mangonel will fire at the whale and miss. Star Moth just went. Flying fish just went. The aesthetic. Nope. The aesthetic is not actually in a collision course with the hammerhead. This is a 2-dimensional map, not 3.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. So like, yeah, we'll just abstract 3 dimensions.
Oh, I also forgot our Kandori skeleton ship.
Yeah, last round too, I think.
It never had initiative.
Okay.
So I'm going to move it twice, and then I'm just going to fire all of its guns for 2 rounds worth of combat,
Okay.
which is 2 ballistas, 2 mangonels. 2 ballistas. 1 hits.
1 hits.
2 mangonels. Neither hit.
Ooh. Nasty.
5 points of damage. 2 ballistas. Both hit. 2 mangonels. 1 hits. So combined 27 points of damage.
Theirs is also mundane damage?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. There was a chance it wasn't, because, you know.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right. Start of the
I
turn.
don't have any way to imbue the damage with something else, do I? I can't think of anything.
You could potentially hex the Kandori. But yeah, you don't have like blasts.
For one thing, I don't think it's in range of the hex.
That is also true. Okay, so it is now going to do its attacks.
I'd have to be able to affect the ammo itself, and I don't think I have any way to do that.
It is going to move. It is moving under the flight plane of the damselfly, for the record. You are above it. Okay? So, like, you're not coming at each other like this. You're like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
3D, 2D.
Yep, I got you.
It is going to tail whip the flying fish. That'll hit. Doing 56 points of damage to the flying fish. And it is again going to life drain and parasitic tentacle at the bombard, which is down to 31 crew members.
Yep.
And then we'll just assume 30.
Yep, I got it.
See? And the D30 roll. Because that's actually a D. All right.
And that's what it looks. I haven't seen D30. And
So parasitic tentacle hits, killing a crew member, which becomes a thing, which is immediately shot full of holes.
Right.
The life drain hits. Killing a crew member whose body is just laying on the deck of the ship. So that is you're down to 28. Yep. And
good thing it no longer needs like 10 people to man the gun.
well, yeah, because it has lost all of its loaders and one other weapon, effectively. Although technically we weren't firing the other weapons because they were just watching the big gun fire. So they'll start now. And it will again Psychic Whisper the Spelljammer for the Bombard.
I assume they have several of those.
Not a lot of gift spellcasters, but he passes the saving throw.
I thought about mentioning that, but I'm like, I have no way of knowing that happened on that ship, so...
Yep.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Every point of damage helps. Throne Monkey. You are not wrong.
Not wrong.
So, muted so that the players don't know this. This thing had 1,000 hit points to start. It heals, it regens 100 hit points per turn, and its life drain and parasitic tentacle attacks, whatever damage it does, it heals. Okay. Oh, and on a 5 or a 6, it's blinding cone recharges. It does not. So Bacon, it is your turn.
Okay.
Your fail number is down to a 3, I believe.
2.
2. Okay.
Do I
I'm going to grab a die.
Sorry again?
I'm just going to grab a die to set up here so I can keep track of that one.
Oh. What, a physical die? What?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Crazy talk.
How do we do that? I don't have one of those.
I could get one of my magic counters.
Right?
I can't risk it. Admiral, one ping only!
You're kidding. Okay.
Have you lost your mind?
If we fire too much, we can rattle the ship apart!
One shot, got it. Okay. Take your shot.
Bad number is 2.
Surprised he gave
That
up that
hits.
easy.
was really hoping for the critical. I mean, I get it's a little greedy, but I was really hoping for the critical.
127 damage.
I've only had one so far in all 3 of my campaigns, just for the record.
There's 3. Yes!
Just saw it.
Yes! Yes! Target number is 0.
Target number is 0.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet.
So next time, fire 3 times.
The bombard
Can
can
you give
move
it
1
these?
square. Where do you want it to move?
Here's what I'm seeing now. The white is going faster than the hammerhead. We have to slow that damn thing down.
Well, killing it will probably do that.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
That's a good point.
That's fair. Of course, it'll slowly regenerate and all still, but let's bring the bombard. Can we bring him to port one time? So I don't
Sure.
think I can move.
Yeah, I can move it.
Right? Yeah. And then obviously, yeah.
And then it just drifts back in the right direction.
yeah.
Strategic advance to the rear, right?
Yeah. No,
the-
we're not doing that.
The Kindori skeleton ship is up next. 2 ballistae.
One time.
1 hits. 2 mangonels. 1 hits.
Okay.
$24 points of damage.
Cool.
And it is going to go this way. And it is actually trying to position itself in a place where the Kindori will have to deal with it rather than the Grand Bombard
Nice.
Okay.
without actually blocking your shot, because it doesn't want to
Nice.
get hit because it thinks that magical damage will probably break it.
Yeah.
Dead Jolly Boat is dead. Sadie, your turn.
All right. Mangonel. Attack. Normal.
That's a hit.
That's a hit.
That is quite a hit.
Damage. Normal. Ew. Not a lot of damage.
I mean, every point helps.
Even if we're just stabbing off its amount of regeneration, it's still helping.
Yeah, right. Like as
That's-
long
like,
as
that's
you
the
can
math in
beat
my
how much
head.
regeneration it can do, the bombard will eventually win this, right? It's just yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're basically here to
And,
stab off regeneration.
I'm assuming you want. Do you want to head like kind of straight down at this point, or do you want to keep going on the angle, or where do you want the hammerhead to move?
Well, we're trying to hit it in the side, so whichever way is
Like that?
gonna hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty much assuming that you're trying to set. In football, you call it an intercept path, so that you can, make the tackle on the angle.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Not so jolly boat is still not so jolly, and Noctis is shot.
Hello, Yami. My kitty is petting my feet.
Lucky feet.
Kitty.
And that is a hit. And that is 13 more points of damage.
Nice.
Can't smell bad.
And Ari, you're up.
Yeah, so we're still taking that counter intercept course, trying to get around to that side eventually if we
Okay.
have to, but
Yep.
trying to stay out of range of the tail whip.
You are
Ah.
above and away.
Okay. And
I mean, if it specifically came after you, it could get into range of the tail whip. But since you're
but
not,
I'm not I want to be not the obvious target.
yeah.
Okay,
What
and
you
listen.
doing, Brandy? Leave Kitty alone.
Yes.
That's a hit.
Okay.
I haven't done any legendary actions yet this round, have I? Don't think I have. Okay.
What round is it?
Third.
What round are we in? Then no, I don't.
Okay. All right. 6 more.
Every bit helps.
It is going to tail whip the flying fish as a legendary action.
It's a legendary tail whip. Wow.
It is a legendary tail whip. And it will... Just let me move it for a second. That will hit. Ooh.
Oh, I hate when that's on their side.
Spicy.
Bloodying the flying fish in a single attack.
Yeah. That's believable.
I think it was about there. Legendary Tail Whip is the name of my Fleetwood Mac cover band. Nice. And now it's the whale ship's turn. 4 ballistas. 2 of which hit. 4 mangonels. 2 of which hit.
Which hit? Yeah.
That is 16 d10. That's then divided in half.
40.
45.
45.
My bad.
Not bad. Come on, finish it.
It will
I have no clue how much damage.
take another legendary action. Or not legendary. Yeah.
I thought you
It's
said that.
2-point
Oh, it was
legendary
legendary
actions.
tail.
It can spend 3 legendary action points in a turn. It has one
Okay.
that costs 1, one that costs 2, and one that costs 3. The tail whip only costs 1. So it can do a tail
okay.
whip and a parasitic tentacle in the same turn, or it can do a life drain.
Okay.
And it will do a parasitic tentacle at a crew member on the bombard, which will hit crew member number... Not either of you.
Right.
Him's... I'm going to say not dead, but severely bloodied, and passes a saving throw.
Roll. So now you got to remember that number next time in case it hits him again.
A number 11.
Okay.
Guy number 11.
Guy number
okay.
11. If he gets it again, he's toast.
The scorpion ship. It's moving in. The jolly boat that is right under the thing is going to take a shot. And hit. And do 6 points of damage. And the squid ship is going to go for another pass at the deep horror in an attempt to keep that crew from dying.
I mean, it's a good idea to be sure.
And it hits.
Get there.
Oh!
Considering
And
how much you...
So the deep horror that is like smashing at guys on the swift boat, it peels back. You hear through the vacuum of space, but it's really not space because it's the astral sea, so who cares? You hear the Hidozi captain howl a war cry. It turns around, and the prow of the squid ship rams right through it, peeling it off of the swift boat.
Oh, let's go.
Good shot.
So that boat will in fact be back in operation next turn.
No longer dead.
And the between the ballista, the crew being able to engage it in close quarters, and the ram from the squid ship, the deep horror is in fact dead.
Nice.
The moth puts himself into a proper firing position. So at this point, it is ready to do its job whenever the rest of the flotilla is ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah, those slackers.
Right.
We're trying. We're just not
Don't
getting
they-
close enough.
The flying fish hits with the ballista, which will do 9. And hits with the... Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't melee ship. This melee ship is the Scorpion. And is too close to fire with the mangonel, so that one's going to be considered a miss. It's basically trying to pass under it to get back to a firing position.
Does the aesthetic have anything that can get to it now? It's pretty close.
The aesthetic pulls up close enough that you see literally spells being cast from the inside of the ship.
Wow. Okay.
However, that's magical damage.
Yeah. I've thought about that, but half the ballista still does more than my other class. So.
Right? Yeah, so like
Die.
and we are up to round 4. The Kandori will regen.
Hopefully not too much.
I mean, same amount as last time. It's not a big deal. It will tail whip the flying fish
So
ship,
bloody, that's all I care about.
which hits,
Oh,
and the ship is dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it will do
I lost my
its
notes. I don't know who that was.
life drain and parasitic attack on that was Captain Pluvy.
Oh no! I am alone. I am alone cephalopod
Yes.
in this fleet.
I mean, it is possible
Alone
that it didn't go
Plasmoid.
down with all hands, but the ship is out of
Right.
combat. It is racked.
Right. Honestly, at this point, they're safer on it than trying to take them off
Yep.
until after the fight. If it's dead, it's probably not attacking it again.
Parasitic attack. Ooh, that was really close, Bacon. Hits the guy standing next to Bacon.
Oh, jeez.
Ah!
Oh,
for the cinematics.
Hits the guy standing next to Bacon and the Admiral, which kills him because I've been giving them 25 points of damage,
right.
which means that it is now a big dead thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that you don't get to do you can either make sure that that thing is dead and unable to swing at you or the captain, or you can do your repair roll this round.
Repairs are at full.
Well, I mean, after the captain fires. So
after.
if you want to just tell the Admiral full bore, I'll be back in a minute, and he just fires 5 shots, then you have to deal with it next round. You can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be dead. You're down to 26 crew members.
We were at 28. Did we lose 2?
No, you just lost 1. So you're down to 27.
Right.
Number 21 gets hit with a life drain. And he's hit.
That is not
And he
enough.
survives. So 11 and 24 are bloodied. 11 and 24 are bloodied. And Bacon, it is your turn.
Full power!
That's what I've been waiting for.
Yes! Okay, so
All right.
we have
No risk on the first shot.
First 2 shots are good.
Yes.
Yes.
0, 0, and then 1, 2, 3.
0, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Good thing, because that was a 1.
Good thing, too. Second shot.
Hits.
Go ahead.
Okay. All that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, no
113 damage. Okay.
Wait a minute.
That was the second shot. Now you're up to the third.
Shot.
So
One
now
is
we're
bad.
at 1.
Hits. Okay. Go for your third.
Fourth shot.
Yeah, the fourth. Yep. So
Fourth
2.
shot. That is 2. Gonna be fine.
Good,
That is a hit.
we're good.
Okay.
Fifth shot. Bad roll. 3.
Come on. No! Fate points! Fate points! Fate points!
I have them. I'm using them. Fate.
Okay.
This is what they're for.
Roll
I'm
again.
not breaking this beautiful ship.
And you did not break the beautiful ship. Okay.
Okay. Now it's either. Oh wait, no, I can't do a main
You can't do
roll on
a-
5 anyway.
Right.
So my objective is to try to keep Dead Thing, along with 27 crew members, off of the Admiral.
Yes!
The Kandori's dead.
Execute
No.
phase 2.
Temporarily.
Go.
Just pining.
Yes. It is
Fine.
temp-
Fine.
Done,
Yeah,
let's
fighting
go.
for
But
the-
I have to.
fighting
But like
for
I
the
say,
Fjords.
I have to keep this thing off of the Admiral. So
right. We're just going to say that worked. Between you and the remaining crew members, you took your action to safety. So
right,
Yes.
right, and we've pretty much that's my end of it.
Okay.
I will now be going over it, doing jury rigging to bring it back down to full.
Worry about that next turn.
Yeah.
Kandori's ship is going to circle and shoot. Sadie is going to. I'm going to say that is ramming distance.
Okay.
So as it goes down, the ship will ram. Who would like to roll the ramming attack and ramming damage between Noctis and Sadie?
I want to.
Okay. Roll
How
me
much?
2. You have advantage because it is not moving. So roll 2d20s.
Dead is prone.
2d20s?
Yeah. Yep, so just roll
Okay.
2d20s. So that hits.
Did you do it?
And your damage is 16d10.
16 d10s?
Yeah. Just click on the d10 button until you see 16 of them listed.
Okay.
And then you get to roll a bacon number of dice.
A bacon number. Look at all the pretties.
There we go.
Pretty.
Boom! Rips a hole right into the side of the ship.
94 damage.
Let's go.
20 Gith Yankee and Noctis and Sadie and Arla, who grabs the barrel under her arm
Uh-huh.
because she's that strong.
Sure.
Okay.
Jump
Very strong.
off the ship and engage the intestines of the Kindori.
I'm gonna need so many baths after this.
So, Sadie, I'm gonna call that she basically used her actions to get to this point, and now it'll be
Okay.
Noctis's attacks on the creatures that are inside.
Okay.
So, Noctis, as you run into the thing, you see teeming inside of the ship is dozens of zombie scavers and thousands of zombified sailors. Because the parasitic tentacle turns you into a deep horror, but the life drain actually turns you into a zombie.
And then it
So-
just kind of slurps them up and stores them.
If it kills an entire ship's worth, yeah. So, Noctis, thousands of zombies. Would you like to swing at something?
I think I would.
Okay. I'm just going to drop a zombie card. Because, I mean, zombies.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, zombies.
I'm going to drop
Next to
it
holy water.
here so he's pretty visible because it's on a star. So you should be able to target that guy pretty easily. Throne Monkey, there's some funk that even prestidigitation can't clean. And being in the inside of an undead whale might be one of those.
Yeah.
I think on the breach, we're going to do a little bit of that.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's an area effect, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Roll your
Right.
damage. I'm going to say no matter how many pass, there's enough to make sure that you've hit 50. So, nice.
Nice.
All right, so that's 50 bloodied zombies. Anything else you would like to do that's ridiculous and amazing?
I can only do that once around, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I will. Actually, I guess I should go ahead and chuck the.
Go for it. This way, this way you can know if Gordon's still alive.
Oh, that's fair
That's
point.
true.
Because you know that boat hasn't been firing nearly as much as you expected. So that's a hit. That's some more damage, and it does come back to you so that you know that Gordon is still alive.
There you go.
And bonus. Or.
Yep.
No, that would have been bonus action.
That would have been your bonus action.
Well, the spell is the bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it is.
Where
I'm reasonably sure it
is
is.
Arla?
It works either way.
Drop her there.
Does Arla have any holy powers?
No, she is a super big dumb fighter.
Oh. Well, she can at least chop some of them in half then.
That's a hit. That finishes off one of the ones that you attacked. That's a hit. That finishes off another one that you attacked. That's a hit. And that finishes off another one. So 13, 19, and 20 for their zombie regens. We're just going to make her super cool and say that she actually just killed 3 zombies because I don't need to bother
Yeah.
rolling because I have more than enough more to go around. With her greatsword, one-handed, while clearing a space to put down the barrel, which she does as her bonus action.
If she doesn't make it out of here, I'm going to be really upset. 'Cause I'm a badass.
The rest of the Githyanki basically are just like clearing a field so that
Right.
they can have enough space to be relatively sure that the barrel is visible,
Right.
and waiting for the hammerhead to begin reversing engines so that they can jump off and onto the hammerhead in time.
Right.
Okay.
But basically they're just holding back a teeming wave of zombies. Several of them die. I am going to say you both, Maeve and Noctis, will be attacked by D6 zombie attacks.
Okay.
Okay, this will be Maeve's die. 2. This will be Reginald's die. 3. All right. So attacks. So 2 slams on Maeve. That's a miss.
Okay.
What's your armor class?
Let me check.
Because I have a 13, and I don't think that's good enough.
I hope that's short.
Is attributes where my armor class
Armor
is?
class should be near the top of your card, between hit points and movement.
Oh, armor class 16.
So you're good.
Yes.
3 attacks at Noctis. A 15. A 21. And a 21.
Okay.
I believe the 21's hit.
Yes.
Take 7 damage and 2. So 9 damage total. To be fair, I will also roll a d6 for hits on Arla. Three attacks for her. A 15 will miss. An 8 will make her laugh. And a 6 is she just pathetic.
The card went
I
up,
think I
right?
just
Yep.
moved out of the way.
10 hit points for
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yep.
Reggie took no damage.
Oh.
Yeah. Oop to that. Reggie takes nothing.
Reggie gets a heal. Ari, your turn.
Okay, so since we were coming on the counter angle, can we kind of like swing around and like pick people up and like help the evac on our way by?
Yes. Make a piloting check, which would be on your casting stat, because spell jamming.
Well,
Okay. So just make a charisma check.
Do you have space, and you have space vehicles?
I do,
Then you have advantage, because you have the proper tools.
because I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. As
I'm saying there's no issue.
As Arla looks over to you and says, "We're good. It's planted," looks at the 9,973 zombies remaining and says, "All we have to do now is manage to survive getting out of here." You hear a humming noise. Thank you, Gargamond. It's an undead whale ship. Oh, you mean this one? That one? It's actually the old art. I just doctored it a little bit. As you hear as she says that, you hear a humming noise and see the wandering glider like skimming the surface of a lake, just barely flying over the edge of the the White Kindori, and skims down at the battlefield low enough that you can each do an athletics or acrobatics check to grab hold of the landing gear.
Okay. believe my athletics.
And
is
this would be a personal action, so fate points, cards, etc. are available.
Athletics. You said athletics or what?
Either athletics or acrobatics, whichever you think is a better
Whatever you
chance.
got.
Oh, I'm gonna go with athletics. Advantage or normal?
Normal, unless things are spent.
Fix that.
Is that good enough?
Probably do it.
14.
I'm waiting because I think Bacon just did something.
Yep.
You had a 14, except that you have advantage, so reroll. Reggie has an 18. Okay, well, your first die was still better, so the 14 was still good. And
What do you think, guys? Is 15 better than 14?
15 is much better than 14.
Let's
15
make
is a
this-
very
15
common
is-
target number.
15
You
I
hear
was
me
gonna
use
say
it a
15
lot.
Sounds like a target number, so let's make that a 15.
Good choice.
Let's-
So, Maeve, Arla, and Reggie all leap and grab onto the dragonfly-like legs of the wandering glider. And
and
We
I will
have
gladly
a cool get to
just
the
for
chopper
a-
moment.
yeah, I will gladly just for effect, like throw out some arms of Hadar or something to like put up a wall blocking anything from grabbing them or holding onto the barrel or something cool like that.
nice. Oh, and as she does, as the captain does this, you see, leaning over the deck is Seth, and she drops an Arms of Hadar and Tentacle of the Deep, which just start battering away anything trying to get to the barrel.
Yeah.
Awesome. So everybody can get, well, not everybody, because a couple people died, but most everybody can get away.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole lot of people. The whale ship is going to... it's just funny because Ari called this from the start. The whale ship is going to ram the Kindori, doing further damage to it to try to make sure that it doesn't get away
Make sure it stays down.
and keep shooting
That's
at
good
it.
because the tentacles should keep that barrel from getting knocked out when it does that.
Right.
The scorpion,
Totally
that's
understand.
close to its square, so I'm just going to move it the rest of the way so it looks like it's doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing. Grabs onto the back of the Kindori to hold it in place.
To make sure it doesn't, do that like I just died nerve pop with its tail.
which could dislodge the barrel.
Yeah.
The squid ship is going to pick up crew members from the busted jolly boat.
And we all streak away.
And at an initiative 5, pick up crew members from the destroyed flying fish ship. And now the Star Moth will take its shot.
Do it.
This is going to require a roll of a 25 or better.
And is anything playable on this?
Yes. Everything is playable except for fate points because there is no player on that ship.
I mean, I really don't have anything useful for this, actually. I've got like one more +1. I don't have anything else.
Well, we'll see if
There
a
you
+1 is enough.
Yeah.
Or we won't bother because that was a bullseye.
Going to use card, damn it.
Yes. It's like, does anyone have it? Yes.
Which will turn a 15 into a 25.
Yes.
How much damage does a vial of holy water do to in radiant damage?
Let's see here.
3. I want to say 3d6.
And how many vials did we have remaining?
72, 73.
Per? It's
Yes.
2d6 radiant per, and we had 71 left.
Is it 2d6?
Yep,
According to
2d6.
Roll20net, yes.
Okay. So 71. So that's Sadie. Can you roll me 142 d6, please?
Yes.
146 2d6.
142 d6.
Two.
Okay.
D6 times 140.
140.
It might be easier to just type in the command.
Oh yeah.
Here, I will put this in, and then I will type this in quotes. Remove the
Okay.
quotes, and then
No, that's okay. I got it.
you got it. Okay. So that's 497 radiant damage.
Yes.
That's only two. Again, you still got 2 more dice to throw.
I do.
It's
You only put it on.
throw 2 more just so you can get over 500.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
505 radiant damage to the interior of an undead whale, and 1,000
That
zombies.
probably smoked them. I mean, honestly,
As
they melted
the
like the witch.
the Githyanki warriors see the Star Moth fall into position, they all turn, look at each other at the same time, and jump and try to land back on the hammerhead, as obviously the Star Moth is not waiting for the hammerhead to be cleared to make sure that it takes its shot.
Right.
The Star Moth fires. At the last second, one of the Githyanki goes fairy light on the barrel so that it's easier to target.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
They jump onto as they jump for the hammerhead. The Star Moth, a single ballista bolt fires from the Star Moth, crossing the distance to the whale, striking the barrel literally on the barrel band, causing the barrel to explode and rupture. And a split second later, you see a corona blast at the from all of the ships. You see a corona blast at the midpoint of the Kandori, and it is literally ripped into 2 pieces.
Good luck salvaging
Zombie
that,
scavers
whoever that was.
and just zombie sailors just floating through space. The scavers get picked up by the remaining interdictors, and the zombies just kind of float around until the Star Moth comes in and literally just spends an hour shooting all of the undead to death.
Fish in a barrel. Fish in a barrel for the Star Moth.
Oh.
Good job, all.
I think it's a good time for us to take a break.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
I could use another bio.
So we're all going to take a break. We will be back for the aftermath of all of this in just a few minutes, so everybody hang around. And we will see you all as soon as we get back. If you have any questions for me or any cast members, throw them in chat and we'll all answer them as soon as we get back. That was only a 95-minute fight. Neither the immediate resolution, which would have been anticlimactic, or the 4 hours, which would have been a party wipe. So, pretty good. And we're back. So, a quick aftermath, before we get to, the post wrap-up session. The quick aftermath of all of that is that 6 of the crew members. Six of the crew members of the Rosebud were able to be recovered. Unfortunately, Captain Pluvy was not one of them. He went down with the ship.
Yeah.
Two of the 3 Swift boats that were launched from the Algon were destroyed. But only about 10 of their total crew were, because the rest were able to be rescued. 7 GIF on the Enderby were killed, turned into undead, and killed again.
Yeah.
And none of the Gith Yankee boarding team were able to make it back.
They weren't able to jump off. or
They died
didn't
from
try
the
to jump off.
shrapnel of the necromantic blast.
No.
Which means they died well.
Which I was gonna say, which is pretty much what they meant to do. It's
But
Yeah.
also means that that fate likely would have been shared by the 2 party members that were also part of the boarding party.
and Arla.
And Arla had the dragonfly not swooped in to, pick up the peoples.
You guys want a lift?
Yes, please.
So, all total, roughly 50 hands lost, and only 1 ship out of the flotilla
Right. The other was just a.
to do the impossible.
I mean,
Sounds
every
cheap
loss
to me.
sucks, but that's by the numbers. Not bad, actually.
Not bad at all.
If there's any racial things, the good news is that Captain who died. If there's any racial things, I would know them. They're supposed to be done.
Mostly just because of his rank, a traditional, burial at sea kind of thing.
Okay.
But nothing.
Which I can coordinate with the rest of his crew to take care of.
Right. And aside from that,
And everyone else would be dealt with by their captains. So
yeah, the remaining members of the remaining crew of the Rosebud are given positions on the other ships, at the very least temporarily, so that they
Get them somewhere.
can get back to somewhere. All of the captains are meeting on the Algon
Mhm.
for a bit of a wrap up. Although again, your captain suggests that you guys go in her place, and she will wait
Sure.
here with the ship.
Sure thing.
She must just not like dealing with other people.
There might be something to that. Have we ever seen her interact with other people? Maybe she's got
Yes.
some secret identity she's hiding or something.
Yeah.
I don't actually care. I'm just.
Give me a investigation roll.
Okay.
Okay.
I was going to say, we saw her interact with the Gith initially.
True.
I don't notice nothing.
Nope.
I'm not gonna roll because it
There
wasn't
we
my
go.
question.
I'm probably not going to notice nothing either.
Closer, but no. It was a whale of a tail. Also a tail of a whale.
Several times.
So,
Wow.
as you make it back onto the Algon for one final gam, all of the captains, including
Except Bluey need to be.
Except Ruby.
Except Pluto.
except Pluvy, boop.
Oh, was he on there? No.
Because we don't have a bucket to put him in.
For this game, I'm going to bring. I want to. Well, Gordonculus is with us again, but I also want to bring one of the barrels of grog that we have because that's our stuff.
Yep.
Celebratory
It's a rather
grog.
festive setting.
Yeah. We only have,
Celebrate
honestly, a
the
few
hell.
ships that lost crew at all, right? Some ships
Yep.
didn't lose anything.
Captain Tiandar, the Rygar captain, actually shows up this time, as well as Arla being there as well.
Yeah.
I will extend, appropriate gestures to the captains that lost crew. Whatever those may be.
Yep. And so you go over numbers. By the way, Admiral Samuels is just literally beside himself, beaming.
Giddiness.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
He fired more than an entire Grand Bombard's complement of shells
It's true.
in less than 30 seconds.
Yep.
Very true.
That is a feat that may never be duplicated.
He in fact had to change his stance in a good way.
Yes. So he comes in. All of the captains are collected, and
He's like,
Captain Corstal says, "Well, it's done. I also didn't get to show you an ability, which is upsetting. Actually,
of the Kandori?
Bacon Gordon would have seen that one of the crew members who got attacked by the tentacles and survived now has a skeletal arm.
No.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
The
Yeah,
thing that we saw on
that's what happened. Okay. Ooh.
on Corstal, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the curse be over now that the thing's dead?
It's permanent damage,
But
Perfect.
Yeah.
and that's if it doesn't kill you. And so it does permanent damage, which alters the state of one limb. Not enough to make you undead or affected by magic that would affect undead. However, it means that even if you survive 5 hits over the course of your entire lifetime, you don't survive 5 hits
Gotcha.
because you run out of limbs.
Yeah.
And then it becomes your head, and that's a problem.
Right.
That's a bit of an
So-
issue. Yeah.
Like, Captain Corstal has an arm and a leg.
2, right?
Gordon would have noticed that Admiral Samuels very carefully pads one leg of his uniform because the leg is skeletal.
Ah, so it's personal for him too.
Okay.
I didn't even know that. Nice.
Yeah.
So, and now the 2 crew members who survived, one has a left arm, one has a right arm.
Right.
All skilly. The people who didn't survive became all skilly.
All skilly. And then got disassembled.
And then quickly got shot full of holes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Admiral Samuels comes in giddy with excitement. Most of the other captains are some level of very
Happy.
pleased with the result, but mostly glad that it's done. Caligrath is sternly satisfied, as is Captain Corstal.
Right.
And the Astral Elf Captain Citrethi is hoidily pleased with his shot.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Well, I'm gonna be frank. I don't think he's got a reason not to be.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
So, reports are given, damages, losses around the table. And Admiral Samuel steps up and says, "Well, if nothing else, I'm a man of my word. So, he looks at the captains, and has a boy which came with him, which is a gift cabin boy, hand him a very large bag, out of which he grabs bags that go thunk heavily as they hit the table, and he throws one in front of each captain. I believe the promise was the captain who fired the winning shot would receive a purse of 5,000 gold. I feel that all ships were equally responsible in this victory, and I have no qualms about taking on the debt from Captain Corstal to make sure that everyone is equally compensated. So each of you will find gold trade cards in an amount of 5,000 gold in those bags."
He just paid off the entire fleet.
Yeah, out of literally
So
his
happy.
cabin money.
Oh.
Thank you.
However,
Mhm.
before the next time we engage in such a grand venture, I expect that I'm going to need probably about a year of dry dock time, because I believe the Enderby is going to need a refit.
Yes,
As it
indeed.
happens,
expect so.
Admiral, I've already got, mind you, it's not written down yet, but I already know exactly what we need to do. It will take, and it won't take a year. 6 months at the most.
I like the way you're thinking. Normally I'm used to shipwrights telling me things will take 3 times as long as it will. That way they look more impressive when they get it done in 1/3 the time. I like the fact that you're going the exact opposite direction. Captain Corstal looks at everyone and says, "Finally, the beast is laid to rest. I want to thank all of the captains involved for their exemplary work in resolving this conflict. As promised, the gunner that took the winning shot I knew I wrote this down, would be receiving this, and she just takes the medallion that has been literally hanging on a nail that is in this assembly hall, and she takes it down and she puts it on the table in front of Captain Citrethi. And Captain Citrethi looks at it, and takes a minute to investigate it. And says, very nice. An Amulet of Health. I'm sure whoever wears this will be very pleased with their durability. And he takes the amulet and tosses it back on the table. I fired the final shot. I always knew I would. However, I fired the final shot in one try, mind you, because of a battle plan that was established, I believe, almost solely by the crew of the Wandering Glider. I may be arrogant, but I'm no fool. I believe we can all agree that that fight would not have gone as it did were not for their timely intervention. As such, I forfeit my right to that prize. And I suggest it be given to the captain of the Wandering Glider for them to disperse amongst their crew as they see fit. By the way, has anybody actually seen the captain of the Wandering Glider? And Samuels goes, Oh, yes, of course. I am, in fact, Yes, of course. I am, in fact, very familiar with Captain Zerneska. And he goes, Zerneska? And the captain goes, well, yes. She is an Astral like yourself. And he goes, not familiar with a captain by that name. Which I guess just means she's not from the Empire. After all, we don't have exclusive ties to all Astral Elf bloodlines, only the best. So she likely comes from somewhere else. In any event, I leave it to her good judgment to decide who amongst her crew was most responsible for that situation being resolved the way it was. And I trust that one of the four of you can be trustworthy enough to make sure it's received, especially if they know that the other three of you know that you have it.
Seth, you can hold on to it until we talk to the captain.
Thank you, sir. I'll make sure the captain gets this.
Okay. Just reach out a little tentacle
Just
and
reach out
grab
and
it.
grab
So, I believe our work here is done.
And well done.
I believe the closest port of call to where we are now is Dacian. So, as they actually have a little bit in the way of dry docking and repairs, although I expect that anyone who wants to do major refits will be going back to where they are, but at least where they're from, but at least this way you'll be able to get some form of materials. My suggestion would be that we head there in an attempt to prepare for whatever we are all doing next in our futures. Everyone give me an insight check.
Okay. One.
Oh, Ari, you broke the streak. You didn't roll the 1.
I'm sorry.
And an 8?
I rolled 2 ones. I rolled 2 ones
That's true.
next to each other.
So, everyone agrees. And you now can all separate and return to your ships. Or, if you have anything you wish to discuss with any of the other captains that are collected, this might be your best time to do so.
Opportunity.
Well, okay, so I need to lay out the plans and whatnot for the Admiral for his refit. I mean, I kind of shook it apart a little bit. I should at least,
Tell him how best to put it back together.
Yep.
Guys,
Well-
we made a gift motion gun.
You did make a gift motion gun. Well, I do
sorry.
believe that Dacian will be about 2 weeks out. So, if you want to stay on your ship for that time, or if you want to come over with me, we can look at schematics, and then once we reach the dry docks, or once we reach Dacian and dock, then we would be able to, reassign you to your crew at that point.
I think that makes good sense. That makes good sense.
Because after all, we're not going to be firing the gun while we're traveling at astral speeds.
No, that's a fair point.
Do you think you could make it so we can
Excellent
fire the gun
thinking.
while traveling at astral speeds?
Wait a minute.
We have 2 weeks to think about this.
Sorry. Anyway,
Does anybody else want to talk to any of the other collected captains before you head back?
I mean, I would just give
or Arla.
Yeah, I would just give general, farewell, goodbyes.
Okay.
In appropriate fashion, keep on good terms with people type of things. Nothing
Right.
really.
Right.
actually, I do want to, because I didn't get much of a chance to. The Gith Yankee captain, the Bachelor.
Okay.
Uh,
Caligraph.
Right. Thank you. Just privately, since you get 2 of the really strong espresso,
Mm-hmm.
just hand him the one to the Lost. Because he lost his damn crew, man.
To the Valiant.
He lost the entire crypt.
He stops. He goes, to the Valiant.
The Valiant.
They did it
Valiant.
their way.
None
Hell
of them
yeah.
were lost. They lived and died exactly as a Gith Yankee warrior should.
They knew exactly where they were going. They weren't lost.
I mean, yes.
Yeah. The legends.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was kind of hoping we could avoid that, but because damn, those boys mean business, yo.
I mean,
But anyway,
you probably could have if Citrethi had waited a turn to fire.
yeah,
Right.
You can argue he has good reasons to not wait a turn to fire. You can
Agreed.
argue he had good reasons to wait a turn to fire.
Yeah, I can't fault any decision making
yeah.
about
No,
that.
ultimately,
And you know
You,
what?
you can
Again,
argue
they
if
did
it was
what
an
they
elven ship, he probably would have waited a turn to fire. So,
But
But
as I say,
everybody did what they meant to do. That's
Yeah.
what else can you really ask?
it's true. But okay, so I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna head back to the Manderby to
Mhm.
start effecting repairs, and
And lay out.
talk to him about how we can make this permanently happen, which is sick. Can you guys let the captain know, and I'll see you guys over at Dennis in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll actually touch
We're gonna
base
miss
with
your
Arla
cooking,
though.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Da-da-da. Arla, as you walk over, Arla gives you a resounding slap to the shoulder, as resounding as in you feel it through to the other one. It just kind of echoes through the exoskeleton. You fought well.
I tap the side of my head.
Yeah, about that. Okay. Yeah. You fought well.
Tap the side of my head and reach out.
Okay.
You did well yourself.
Thank you. You know,
So,
you're a pretty strong warrior. We could always use more in our crew like you. And Rygar are known for eclectic collections of crew. I could put in a good word for you if you want.
oh, you can put in a good word for me. Good words never run afoul. Well, usually. But no, my crew is... The crew I'm with are the ones that I feel are my clutchmates, so...
That's fair. I can understand that. Well, if you ever find you need somewhere else to travel,
Definitely will keep you in
make
mind.
sure you let me know.
And how about you? Where are y'all off to next?
I mean, that's up to Tiandar. Wherever Tiandar says we go, that's where we head and what we do.
Well, it was good fighting next to you. Hope we do it again.
Yes, it was. I hope we do it again too. And she
Well-
smiles surprisingly pleasantly.
Nice.
And I'll give her a good hearty clap on the shoulder.
All right. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone? Anythings? Any stuffs?
Nothing specific.
All right. So with that, everybody but Gordon will head back to the Wandering Glider. Gordon is here just so that he can, watch
Right.
it when
Gotcha.
he comes back. So, this is the captain speaking. How'd it go?
Very well.
It went excellently.
I have
Take
to
out
say
the
that
bag
was
of cash.
I have to say that was some pretty innovative combat. I think everyone did a really good job.
It was a grand plan. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of grand plan, and I pull out the amulet. We were given credit for the grand plan.
Oh, well, that's surprising.
This was
Also, do you
assigned to
guys
us.
give her the bag of 5,000 gold?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
We did.
All right. So you will each get your share, which is...
Terrible math. There's 6 crew members.
Hang on.
For 5,000
There,
gold.
No, I think
there's
you
the
had-
captain gets half, so it makes it 2,500,
That's
and then
true.
everyone gets equal shares, so everyone gets 500.
Well, that's perfect then. Yay!
That's why I have exactly this many people on the ship.
Funny enough.
perfect.
So you can all add 500 gold to your character sheets.
Yes.
Just have to change one number.
Yep.
There
So
we go.
do you want me to decide who gets this trinket, or have you decided amongst yourselves who should probably get it?
Usually, we operate as a team. We're a crew. I think just whatever's going to be the most practical use.
I want
My
it.
perspective.
I don't know who else wants it, but I want it.
I mean, really, it would be useful for anyone, so
I know.
yourself included, Captain.
This is, I would consider, probably something best carried by someone that's going to be on the front lines a lot.
Agreed.
You did say that this was it was decided that it was an Amulet of Health, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What this does is this makes someone effectively nearly as hardy as their race can be, simply by wearing it and attuning to it. Out of game, you attune to it, and it raises your Constitution score to a 19.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So, for a frontline fighter, that's likely several hit points per level.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I think maybe Noctis ought to have it. He's kind of our tank.
Well, I take things to the face.
You do. You take a lot of things to the face. I don't.
Now, for Noctis,
you
it would
take some-
effectively be a +1 more,
Yeah, so it's not going to do me.
so it doesn't
As
do as much
much.
for him.
And, all
And then that's
three
the
of
other
you
way to
have
think about it. For Maeve, it would take her 13 to a 19, so it's a +3. And
that's huge.
for Seth, it would take her 12 to a 19, so it would also be a +3.
Yeah, but I'm pretty good at staying at range. I wouldn't go with me.
Okay.
They're definitely. I think anybody but me would be more practical.
All right, so
I wave.
that's Seth
wait, all right.
or, I mean, that's Maeve or Noctis.
What good does
Bacon,
it do?
you're not here, but Gordon would have
I was gonna say.
as a player, you get a say in this as well because it's loot.
Right.
Sure.
We would speak on his behalf anyway. I would speak on his behalf.
But yeah, no, it'd beef me up, and I guess I'm a semi up front guy, except I'm really
All
not.
three of you get hit a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was
honestly,
more mentioning that because that, as in to say that Bacon would also get a say as to which player should get it if it went between
Yeah.
Maeve
Yeah.
and Noctis.
Protect the healer, Maeve.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
Maeve's
she
going to
would
get more
bigger
benefit.
from it. So I am not against the plan.
You know,
The difference in the stat boost is really what makes it.
So that's
Yeah.
3 more hit points per level. So her hit points goes from 28 to 40.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference.
Already, just now, yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, it's one of those decisions of, it
40
gets
hit points.
it gets 4
Don't
more
go
hit
spending
points.
all in one place now, Sadie.
Yeah. It gets 4 more hit points for Richard, or it gets 12 more hit points for Maeve. Like,
Right.
it's toss up.
Yeah.
It's toss up, but I don't think that's I don't think either was a bad choice, and more importantly, now you have it. Also good
And
for
what
people that
made
have to
it
make
for
concentration
concentration.
checks. Yes,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
that just gave you a tremendous bonus for concentration, which is a Constitution test.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So-
say, and that's more her even than me. I think. I don't think most of my stuff just got a boom. It's
I mean, well, no, because you have Hex and you have a couple other
Oh, the
things that are
Hex.
so. But again, she's up front and taking damage several times a turn, where you're getting hit
Yeah.
once every 3 or 4
I'm
turns. She's going to make
usually not.
12. She's going to make 12 concentration saves to your 1. So
seriously. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Unless I get ganked. Usually I'm pretty good at staying at range, so it's
Yeah.
not an issue.
And that's an automatic +3 to for her to concentration checks. So yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's settled.
All right.
All right.
So
I'm gonna be jingly. I already got this.
Tingly.
No.
now you have
Nice.
2. So yes, I agree. Let's follow with everyone else. We'll go to Dacian. That way we can pick up Gordon when we get there, and we can do some quick resupplies, and we can, figure out what we're going to do next from that point forward.
Okay.
Sound reasonable?
Good.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. And that's going to be where the adventure ends. I know we're a little bit early, but I'd rather go early than start the next chapter.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
with 2 of
I
us
think
having to
it's-
call it early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little late for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we either stop a half hour early or we wind up going probably an hour long when 2 people needed to make sure we stopped on time. So I think we're probably going to stop a half hour early, but that just means we have a little bit more time for after call and maybe working on
Yeah.
getting your characters to
Characters
5th
leveled up.
level.
Yeah, we can just stay on call and do some leveling. Anybody who's got
Because
time.
remember, one of the
Oh,
things.
that's all right. I get to be level 5 now.
Yeah. Because remember, one of the things that I said was when you guys do battles that takes you from one threshold to another, tier 1 to tier 2, tier 2 to tier 3, those battles, cards and abilities will be very limited, and you have to play by the rules.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I set up that wave battle with all the ships, where you were using crew abilities so that you wouldn't be able to use cards anyway.
Right.
Right.
Well, that worked pretty well.
Okay, so what's my level 5 hit points then?
You will still roll a d8, same as normal, and if you
This
can,
time.
you can re-roll it. You can re-roll it if the number is poor, and then you will add 4 to the total. So I would re-roll the 2
Ouch.
because you probably don't want to keep
Wow.
that.
Wow.
Okay. Come on, dice.
So 8
There
is
we
much
go.
better.
There you go.
So that
Ooh,
is now a
And
52.
add a 4.
that
Yep.
is sweet.
Okay. All right.
That
So
is
you just
sweet.
went from 28 to 52.
Oh,
You are not going to know what to do with
yes.
yourself.
All right.
Wow.
Should get reckless.
Check this.
I'll
No,
take
I
care of
don't
those
want to
hit
get
points.
reckless. I don't want to get reckless.
There's an
Oh.
8 for bacon.
+1 con, so 9.
Nice.
So I'm up to 38.
It
hit
could have been a
points.
+4 con. Could have
Oh,
been.
I didn't add mine last time. My +1. Okay.
Let's see here.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. All right, so I'm officially going to move us into the after call. So that means we are going to be wrapping this up. If you have enjoyed this and you are watching this on the YouTubes, please come by on Sundays where we do this campaign live, and you can enjoy all the fun and stupid stuff that happens live on stream. If
And
you
you
are
can
more
affect us.
interested in some gothic horror, or you can watch our Light and Darkness campaigns on Tuesday. If you like high fantasy adventure, we have Exacted Spirits on Thursday. And if you like cosmic horror, we have a Drakenheim campaign on Saturdays. Fridays for the month of October, but if you're watching this on YouTube, it's already past that, I think. No, it'll be next week. Fridays in the month of October, we are doing Ravenloft, also just random other days. Although, guys, I believe next Friday there is a chance that I might not be available, so I might actually have to be off on my day off. Sorry. But if you have enjoyed the Spelljammer and you want to see more of it, come by on Sundays, because that's when we do this one.
Dang.
So on behalf of Sadie Golden Dragon, on behalf of Old Bacon Eater, on behalf of Noctis Silence, on behalf of Ari Cypress Everly, thank you all very much. We hope that you have had fun. We have had fun entertaining you and killing a huge undead whale. This is the point in chat where chat gets to decide who gets an extra fate point. There were many fate points purchased this encounter. There were many fate points spent this encounter, so no one's going to mind one. So you can give it to Maeve/Sadie. You can give it to Bacon/Gordon. You can give it to Noctis/Reginald. You can give it to Aries/Seth. I'm seeing a lot of Bacon. I think Bacon's going to get the compensation point for him not getting the magic item, but making the big gun that made everything happen. So we're just going to throw the
and he had to spend the most out of everybody.
and he spent the most to make sure that gun kept firing and kept everyone else alive. So
Yeah, because we went through the stream allotment of fate points.
yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
You guys
We're
bought
like,
as many as you could buy in a stream,
We bought stuff.
and you spent them. So, because fun fact, you all had 2 going into this encounter, and you're all leaving with 2. So everything that was
So
spent,
that tells
including the free chat one, got used.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Yep.
That is what they're there for.
That's why we put that mechanic
when
in.
is
I love it.
If not one of these, tier switches. Like,
Yeah. Big fights. Big boss fights.
Yeah.
Big boss fights.
All right. So that's going to be that. We're going to spend some time building the characters. We're going to do a little bit of the post call. If you want to see the after call and all the fun we have with that, the 2 ways to do that is either be on the Patreon, because at some point I'll put these all up on the Patreon for Patreon members, or be here live to watch it when it happens on Twitch. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/singlestepgaming. $1, $5, $10, $20. Not saying you need to throw $20 at this, but if you're enjoying this content and you want to throw $1 at it a month, we would greatly appreciate it. If you throw $5 or more, you can get a shout out at the end of a episode. Like for this one, we're going to shout out our patron Sadie Golden Dragon. Yay! And we also, Single Step Gaming puts out a product once per month on DM's Guild, and if you are in the Patreon and you are pledged at a level that is equal to or higher than the cost of what we put on DM's Guild, you get a copy of the PDF for free. So consider it just a rolling pre-order, if you will. In any event, thank you all very much for being here. I hope that you have had fun. We have had fun entertaining you. Hope to see you live. And until then, be a good werewolf, like and subscribe. And we will see you all next time. Bye.